Okay, fake news. Now this is a big topic currently. So let's talk about fake news. Now anyone can create a website that looks legitimate and post anything on it. I could go right now and within an hour have a very legitimate looking page that I could make myself, and I can put anything on it. So, in the 2016 election, millions were spent to boost fake news stories on Facebook. Now, these fake news stories were sites that were created in other countries with foreign money to boost them. Now, what that means, there's a lot of findings that you could derive from that, but this is the truth. Many of these sites were created in other countries with foreign money to boost them. All of these stories are 100% false, but had hundreds of thousands of online engagements. So let's look at these. The first one in the back here says, Pope Francis shocks world, endorses Donald Trump for president. This is not true. This did not happen. But all of these news articles on their, news articles just on their face look very legitimate. The second one here, Obama cuts $2.6 billion from veterans while allocating $4.5 billion to Syrian migrants moving to America. Once again, that did not happen. But that is a very legitimate looking page. This next one here, Obama signs executive order banning the Pledge of Allegiance in schools nationwide. This did not happen. All of these were posted many times, hundreds of thousands of online engagements, meaning that these were clicked hundreds of thousands of times. And a lot of those people probably believed what they were looking at. None of these happened, you see, but they have, especially this one down in front, since we can see it the best. Obama signs executive order banning the Pledge of Allegiance in schools nationwide. And here we have a picture of President Obama sitting. It looks like he's signing an executive order of some sort with a bunch of people gathered around. It's a very official looking picture. They even have an author credited here and give him ABC News. Now that sounds very legitimate, but these are all fake. So you have to look beyond the headline, look beyond the pictures to see make sure what you're looking at is legitimate. Now, what is fake news? Fake news is not news you disagree with. It is not the mainstream media, such as ABC, CBS, CNN, Fox, NBC. Those are all mainstream media outlets. And just because a media outlet is considered mainstream does not make it fake. These new news agencies might have bias, but they are legitimate sources of news. These have been found to be the most reliable over time. Now, they are going to have their biases, of course, but it does not make them fake. What fake news is it is outright false or misleading stories by minor sources. Now, there have been other news sources that have reported on information first. But if there is a huge story that is being posted by a smaller news source that you haven't really heard of before, but they're making these big drastic claims, but like ABC, CBS, CNN, Fox, NBC, none of them are reporting that same information, it's probably false or misleading stories. Now, how to recognize fake news? Now, fake news are going to have lots of pop-ups and banner ads, meaning whenever you go to their website, there's going to be stuff that pops up, and there's going to be ads at the top and the bottom and all over it. That's because those websites make money every time those ads are looked at. You don't even have to click them, but as long as they have been seen, they're going to make money. So they're going to just slam as many ads as they can on their website. What is the domain? Does it end in .biz, .ch, .ru, .de? unless it ends in like .com or .org, you probably, or .gov, it's probably going to be a not very reliable news source. Look for an about page or Google the site name to learn. So if you're reading a news article online and it seems legitimate, take that news source, Google it, and Google will tell you if it's a trusted news source or if it's fake. Usually, if you just plug that into Google, hit search, it's gonna tell you if it can be trusted. Also, look to see if any reputable news sites carry the same story. Once again, like I said earlier, if some little .biz website is posting about some huge world-shaking event, and CNN or CBS or Fox, NBC, none of them are picking up that same story, probably can't be trusted. Now, if it makes you angry, it's probably designed to. If you read a news story and how could they do that? That just it makes me so mad. That's exactly what it was written to do. It was written to elicit an emotional response. It's written in a way that makes you want to tell as many people about it as you can. Post it on your Facebook page or your Twitter or whatever. Share it with all your friends and family. Because the more that it's seen, the more money that company is making. So by eliciting a strong emotional response in you, you're doing exactly what they want you to do. Now, satire. This is where satire comes in, and we need to identify that. Now, satire is the use of humor and ridicule to draw attention to political issues. Satire news articles are not meant to be taken seriously, but often reference serious topics, for example, insurance, lawsuits, and campaigns. If a news article seems too ridiculous to believe, check to make sure it isn't satire. Now, the picture that I've included on this slide is, you may know him, this is a comedian and an actor by the name of John Oliver. John Oliver, he became very well known through The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, and that was kind of where he got a major following, and now he has his own show on HBO called Last Week Tonight. And Last Week Tonight is a satirical news show. He does report on things that are happening, but he takes a satirical slant on it. I mean, the picture here is of he got into a lawsuit with Robert Murray, who was a major coal company executive, and he had, I can't really tell you about it because it uses a lot of language that I don't want to use on my videos here, but if you want to look that up yourself, I will say that it is, there's some foul language that is used that I would not appreciate being used in my classroom, so I'm not going to tell you what all is said, but obviously it's meant to make you laugh. I mean, he's trying to tell you about some major things happening, and he has a guy in a giant squirrel costume with him. So obviously it's to make you laugh, but it's also to draw your attention to serious topics. Satire is meant to be entertaining, but some people still share satirical content online believing it to be true. Sorry about that. I have seen myself numerous times people sharing articles online that are from a satire source, but they are sharing it to be true. To give you an example, here is an article from a website called The Onion. Now, The Onion is a very popular, it is a satire news website. At the top I have, this is their tagline, America's finest news source. Now with a tagline like that, if you didn't know, you might believe it. And I went to their homepage, and I was going to show a picture of their homepage, but once again, their homepage uses a lot of language that I don't want to have on here. So here is one of the things that they had on their homepage. Supreme Court strikes down Obama's personal health insurance policy. Now, if you just saw that headline and the picture that went with it, seems legitimate, right? But if you go down and you actually read the article, it says that the Supreme Court has revoked Obama's personal health insurance policy. Now, obviously, they didn't. But a lot of people, if they saw that, they might share that online. And if you just looked at the headline and the picture, it might look real. And with that headline, or with that tagline, America's finest news source, you might be proposed to believe it. This actually happened a lot a few years ago. So The Onion actually started making their headlines even more ridiculous so that people wouldn't believe it. And it's kind of sad that, people wouldn't just read a little bit and you'd be able to see that it's not legitimate. But make sure whenever you're sharing news online that you are not sharing satire, unless that's what you want to share to make people laugh. But don't bring a satirical news article and then post it trying to make a political point. The Supreme Court did not strike down Obama's personal health insurance policy, and I would not use a man in a giant squirrel costume as the basis of all of your information. Okay, let's analyze this article based on what you just reviewed. So, the state of Virginia, now entirely run by truly insane Democrats who support infanticide and child murder, is proposing a new 2020 law known as SB 64, which will be taken up by the Democrat-run Senate beginning January 8, 2020. The law would instantly transform all martial arts instructors into criminal felons. This includes instructors who teach kickboxing, BJJ, Krav Maga, boxing, and even capoeira. It would also criminalize all firearm training classes, including concealed carry classes. It would even criminalize a father teaching his own son how to use a hunting rifle. Specifically, the law says that a person is guilty of unlawful paramilitary activity, a Class 5 felony, if that person assembles with one or more persons for the purpose of training with, practicing with, or being instructed in the use of any firearm, explosive, or incendiary device, or technique capable of causing injury or death to persons. The phrase, technique capable of causing injury or death to persons, covers all forms of martial arts and self-defense training, including Krav Maga, BJJ, boxing, and other contact martial arts such as Taekwondo or Tai Chi. Under the proposed law, all forms of self-defense training, including hand-to-hand martial arts training, would be considered paramilitary activity, even if the training consists of private classes involving just one instructor and one student. That's because every form of martial arts training imparts skills to cause injury. Now, do you think that this is a true news article? Obviously not. I mean, you don't even have to get past the first sentence and you should know that this is not a true news article. The state of Virginia, now entirely run by truly insane Democrats who support infanticide and child murder, is proposing a new 2020 law known as blah 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 blah. I mean, once you get past that first bit, you should realize that what you're probably looking at here is not this is fake news. Obviously, this is a joke. This is not meant to be taken seriously. So, it's important to be able to pick that out, guys, because there are people out there that will share news articles like this on social media and think what they're looking at is true. So, the better you guys are at being able to identify fake information and being able to sort it out and to not get it confused with what's true, the better off you'll be. Okay, guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you have any questions about anything we went over today, you can send me a message. You know all the normal ways to get a hold of me. I hope everybody's having a great day, and I'll see you again real soon.